This is a Jmix exclusive.
People want to hear about Eugene Deal. If you don't mind, I want to talk a little bit about Eugene Deal. I like Eugene Deal. The problem that I have with Eugene Deal is Puffy's been a bad guy. Puffy's been a bad guy. As soon as he's in front of the cameras, all of a sudden, Puffy wouldn't have nothing to do with anything wrong. And when I watch the Trainwreck interviews, it always appears to me that
Trainwreck,
Eugene Deal is always talking something slick to someone who's not in the room. So I'm listening to it and I'm like, are you talking about Puffy? Who's the subtle shot at? Who am I trying to?
Who's the bro?
I mean, like, what's the hook here?
Bro?
And he just doesn't stay on topic. He spits out so much information that as soon as I'm following one point, he's jumping all over the place and then talking to people into the camera that we don't even know who he's talking to. So that's my take on Eugene Deal. It's hard for me to watch it and follow it cohesively just because of that simple fact that that's what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you say, and I'm kind of piggybacking on that a little bit. I like Eugene Deal. I mean, I was a little bit kind of hurt and frustrated that he didn't want to talk to me, especially when most of the things that he had to say, even on the telephone, when we talked on the phone with Randall Sullivan and Perry Sanders, and Eugene Deal and I would talk on the phone, that Gene made it clear. I mean, he didn't say anything different than he said in his interviews with Trainwreck TV, and he hasn't said anything different than, I'm sorry, Jmix TV. And there's other interviews that he's done, and even in the phone call that we had of his talking with Randy Sullivan, confirming the fact that, you know, Greg Kading's full of it, and, you know, not what his recollection of events was. You know, Greg Kading got it wrong, KVD got it wrong.
Hello? Perry, I can hear everything you're saying. Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, what's up? Well, there's this real bald-faced liar out there in Kading that claims I support his story, which I don't. I've called him a liar. He's claiming you changed your idea of Muhammad, which I didn't think you did, which you just told me you never did. Is that correct? Perry, that's correct. Listen, I don't know who this guy is. I never even spoke to him. He never even called me on the phone or nothing like that. Yo, if that's his change, nothing did that, you should never talk. I don't even know who he is. I don't even care who he is. If it's the same people who did that murder rap bullshit, they out their fucking mind. And that stuff with KTD and stuff like that, I know a lot of inside on that stuff like that. And they got this shit wrong. This is the guy, and he's got it wrong on purpose.
I mean, we agree on all of that. So I was just never really sure why Eugene didn't want to do an interview. He's got his own reasons for it. But, you know, my take on Eugene is, I mean, Eugene's got an axe to grind with Puffy. I mean, he's a disgruntled employee. He's got reasons to have, you know, a grudge against Puffy. I'm not taking sides in it, you know, but I think there's two sides to every story. And maybe there's some validity to, you know, some of Eugene's complaints and some of the things that he had to say. So I can't rule that out. But, I mean, just as the way he comes across is just, it's like he's got a serious axe to grind. And unfortunately, that just kind of, and we know this because Jesse, you and I do it a lot, you know, we come off on our rants and things like that. You know, it looks like we got an axe to grind, we got an agenda. And so I think it kind of cheapens the message a little bit. But, you know, but I think that Eugene Deal has brought some good information into it. He was an eyewitness. He was there. He's kind of like the Frank Alexander of the bee killing. You know, he was there.
And I want to address, you know, Jaja says that we stay dissing fellow YouTubers. Why is that? Number one, a little light jab at someone who's competition is, where is everybody's humor at? Why is everything so serious that everybody takes everything so seriously? You know, I don't have any problem with Jmix TV. Trainwreck TV is funny. Learn to laugh. It's okay. We're not out here with guns sticking up YouTubers. We're just giving our opinions. Simmer down, snowflakes.
Yeah, and exactly. And they get some thicker skin. Get over yourselves.
Trainwreck.
The thing here about the reason I call it Trainwreck TV, if you want to know, the reason I call it Trainwreck TV is because I think it's a sloppy production value. I think it's sloppy quality. I think it's thrown together for YouTube, and I think the Eugene Deal actually deserved a better quality forum, a better video quality, a better camera quality, better lighting, better sound, better everything. And if he hooked up with this guy who's a content producer and was promised that he was going to put a video out for one reason or another, you know what? He got the raw end of the deal. I mean, you know, so I don't know if the, you know, raw deal was more about Eugene Deal or the deal he made with Trainwreck TV. You know, I don't hate on people, but you know, I'm a professional. I do what I do. We put videos out for sale. You know, I don't try to compete with people who make YouTube videos for a living. Okay. You know, we spend a lot of money for quality equipment and all that. And some dude rips out a YouTube video, Eugene Deal sitting on a bed, you know, in a, I don't know, looks like a basketball court or something like that. Not a single alternate angle, not a single different take. And, you know, puts it out there. And I just, you know, it's my professional opinion. There's people that said my stuff looks like shit too. So, you know, it's just a difference of professional opinion. So I call it Trainwreck TV just because it's just, in my opinion, poor quality. And I think the Eugene Deal deserves better than that. So that's my message to Eugene.
Well put. Well put.
So let's see. NEV, oh boy, that's a mouthful. NEV Villalobo. Maybe that's the name there. Welcome to the show. Will the A&E documentary say Orlando did it in the end? You know, if I had to make a bet about it, I'd say that's what they're going to come back with. I don't think they're actually going to say conclusively that the evidence shows he did it. They're going to say that of all the theories that are out there, this seems to be the most probable or the most likely theory, and that's how they're going to take the dodge that way. It's always easy to blame the dead guy. I mean, let's be honest.
Now, keep in mind, we don't know that for sure. We don't know that for sure.
No, we don't. But you have to consider the fact that Lolita Files, who's one of the producers on that show, wrote the book. Tim Brennan and Bobby Ladd wrote the book with them about the whole Orlando Anderson thing and how, you know, Tim Brennan found the magic gun and turned it over to the ATF, and there's a big conspiracy by all law enforcement to keep Tupac's gun a secret, the gun that killed Tupac Shakur, to keep it a secret. Why that even makes any bit of sense at all is just baffling to me. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of things about stuff Tim Brennan has said that's completely baffling to me. And that just is kind of par for the course. But she wrote the book with Tim Brennan and Bobby Ladd, and she wants to sell books, clearly. So is it really in her best interest as one of the hosts of the show? Is it in her best interest to steer the investigation away from something that conflicts with her book? No, she's not going to.
For those that don't know, Lolita Files is the lady with the afro who's doing the show. She's a producer on this show, I believe. So, like RJ's saying, she wrote the new Once Upon a Time in Compton, Tim Brennan and Bobby Ladd's book, and they throw those guys out on what, the first or second episode? It was their interview. And typically, if you look at foreshadowing, what they're doing with that is, it leads me to believe that they're going to take it the Orlando Anderson route. Because early on, they foreshadowed. And I don't know if their blow-off of Greg Kading was that intentional. I hope it was. But if it wasn't, that would be another case of foreshadowing for them to fall back on the Orlando Anderson theory.
Okay, so a real quick question. There was one in here about, is Brent Becker legit, or is he like the Compton sheriffs? Let me tell you something about Brent Becker. Brent Becker got caught up in a little bit of fiasco at the Las Vegas Sheriff's Department, or Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. He got caught up in a little fiasco there that we learned about. But other than that, on the Tupac Shakur investigation, it's just my personal opinion. Brent Becker was the junior detective. I don't think he'd been a detective very long. I think this is one of his first really big murder cases that he had been involved with. Other than that, there isn't anything Brent Becker has told us that hasn't checked out. There isn't been a single thing that he told us that wasn't legitimate, didn't stand by it. Brent Becker signed Frank Alexander's concealed carry permit letters, his letters of recommendation for Frank Alexander. I mean, you know, so if you have faith and believe in Frank Alexander, you should probably believe in Brent Becker too. I think Brent Becker was pretty clear about what he thought about LAPD's involvement in the Tupac investigation. He didn't like it. He didn't like the fact that they were coming over. He said that, you know, he had heard about Russell Poole, but they really talked just to kind of exchange some information back and forth. There really wasn't much going on there. You know, I haven't talked to Brent in probably since 2009, I think is the last time I talked to Brent Becker. He was working at the airport at the time. I know he's retired now. But I haven't talked to him since then. But I have no reason to say that he's not legit at all. In fact, I'm here to tell you, I don't think that, you know, that the Vegas police, I mean, unless, you know, there's something going on with that helicopter, I'm not sure the detectives at the Las Vegas Police Department are really as much of a big a screw up as the LA Times and the LAPD want you to believe that they are. If you have information that could lead to the arrest and conviction of something, by the way, LAPD, newsflash, when you have information that could lead to the investigation and conviction of a person for a murder, don't leak it. Okay? Don't give it out. Don't give it out. David Kenner, when Suge Knight was going to go for his beating thing, leaked the MGM footage to get people to side on it. The Tams footage got leaked for Suge Knight. Listen, when you know, Vegas police has seen all this nonsense go on. They would live in a world of TMZ. I mean, it was back that way. Paparazzi was around even back when Tupac was killed. You know, Vegas police knows this, and they live in a city where everybody's crooked. So, I mean, the one thing you're going to do is you're going to take it up, lock it up, and throw away a key. In fact, they were so protective of the information that they had. They told Russ Poole, when Russ Poole looked and said, I'd really like to see those murder books, and they looked at him and said, you will never see those murder books. You're never going to see those murder books. He said that. And why did he say that? Because they're being dicks about it, or because they want to keep the information from the LAPD? No. It's because they don't trust anybody in LA. They don't trust anybody from the LAPD. Gee, I wonder why, Rampart. Gee, I wonder why Sheriff's Department, big spender. Gee, I wonder why closed Compton PD. I wonder why Vegas police doesn't trust any of you stupid. Okay? That's why. They don't trust you. And they have information, and they're sitting on that information, and they're not going to give you any place to go leak the information to. Maybe the Las Vegas police are the smartest motherfuckers in the room. Maybe they're the smartest guys. Because they're taking information that could be for a real investigation, and they're going to sit on it until somebody like a Reggie Wright or somebody that's involved with it makes a deathbed confession or tells them something that they can move the case forward and close the case the right way. They can close the case just like any other case. You don't have to have a conviction to close a case. You can close it and you can say that it's resolved, but you just can't prosecute because of the death of the witnesses. You can do that. There's a reason they're keeping it open. They're keeping it open because they want to close the case. They want to do it right. And I submit to you that the Vegas police may not be as crooked as everybody in LA is trying to make them out to be. And that's, look at the people making the accusations, Jess. You know, who are the ones saying? Who are the ones saying that?
It's Tim
Greg
Brennan,
Kading,
Bobby
Chuck
Ladd.
Phillips, Tim Brennan, Chuck Phillips. You know, all stellar reputations of their own, mind you. No deception, lies, none of that. Okay? All pillars of their community. Take their word to the bank. But Vegas are the ones that are corrupt. Vegas are the fuck-ups. Vegas are the ones that, no, I don't think so. I think Vegas has information, and they are not going to, because they don't trust them, they're not going to let the TMZ leaking LAPD have any of that information, period. That's it. That's my opinion anyway.
Hey all, it's Jmix here, and I want to thank everybody that took the time to watch the video. If you liked it, go ahead and throw it a like, maybe even a comment down below. And if you really like my content, check out my Patreon. The link is down below. For $1 a month, you get all the live streams, unedited as soon as they happen, plus interviews in advance and other bonus content. The link is in the description. If not, you guys could always watch one of the videos to the side of me. See you on the next upload. One love, everybody.